right, so I have always wondered how to do. What do I say? How to do the Mickey voice? I don't know. I don't know if I could ask.
I don't know.
I sat down, opened my laptop before bed, and I had an email that said, "Do you want to be the voice of Mickey Mouse?"
Oh my gosh.
I'm watching them ride in on those pink flamingos. Is there any chance I could do that?
And he was like, "We'll see what we can do."
Oh boy.
Make a nice
Wow.
round sound.
Oh boy.
Oh, you're definitely getting there.
Boy.
All right, Eric, your turn.
See, now I'm nervous.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Awesome People and Awesome Stories. We're so
Yeah.
excited. We have a pretty awesome person with us today.
I think
Yes.
it's totally awesome, or, he is pretty awesome. Last time we did this, we had it oriented so we could do a reveal, but he's in the center, so you probably
So
already
you probably
Yeah.
saw him
Oops.
already.
Did you want me to hide? I can go
yeah, I
under
know
the
what
table.
you're
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I'd
You're
attempt.
like-
There's too many cords to hide down there, but
But our guest today is Bret Iwan, and he's totally awesome. We're really excited to have you on today.
Yeah,
so
thank
thank you for
you.
being here.
Bret Iwan, if you guys don't know, is a really fantastic artist. We have, I mean, I love your art.
There's one
I'm
right there.
blushing
Behind us.
actually.
Yeah, really fantastic artist. Also the voice of Mickey Mouse, which is
Yeah.
pretty awesome
Who?
as well. I've
Yeah,
never heard of
Mickey.
him, but
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I love Mickey.
that's
just the
That's
coolest
That's
thing in
so
the
cool.
world.
Yeah. Awesome.
I love that. That is
Yeah,
And we're
very
done.
cool.
Thanks for joining us,
All right,
everyone.
thanks,
All
okay,
right,
that's
guys.
the end of the
Yeah,
episode.
you
Okay.
came. That's what you came to see.
That's what
right?
you came to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but we think Bret's an awesome guy. Thank you for finally coordinating this with us. We got
Yeah,
it
of
together.
course.
Yeah.
We're so excited to have you on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the first time we met you in person.
Oh gosh.
Was
It was
when would that have
It was
been?
at like a D23, I think. So when we
D23.
like,
Oh
when we met you the
yeah,
first time.
you guys. I remember what it was. It was at one of the main stages, and there was a trivia contest.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you guys were contestants, but I knew who you were through social media, and I think I just said hi, very
Uh-huh.
creepily, like I was a stalker. I was like, oh yeah, I know you guys.
And we're like, we
I
know
love
you.
it.
Yeah.
No,
I have to tell you, that was a pretty cool moment. We're like, oh, you know us.
yeah. I know. I was like, no way. I was like, the internet's so cool. Like, you literally
Yeah.
never know who's watching, right? But
Oh,
I
it
was
was. I mean, and your mom was so sweet to pay me that $50 for saying that to you guys. And then now we're actually friends.
Yeah.
based on
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
pretty
intro,
awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think that's terrific.
Yeah.
That's
so
great.
much fun.
I'm teasing. They did not pay me. So
yeah, we are friends though. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
wouldn't
so-
tease you about
that
friends
part is
part.
real.
yeah.
No, but that was pretty fun. That was really cool. And I actually remember I wasn't gonna tell the story first, but it was
Might
so
as well.
might as
Yeah.
well. So talking about
Go
it.
Yeah,
for
why
it.
not?
But we were literally waiting for Phantasmic to come back after the pandemic,
I
and
think
we
it
were
was
sitting.
2022, the first time they
Okay.
brought it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were just sitting waiting for the show to start, and it pops up and it says, "Bret Iwan followed you on Instagram," and I was like, "No way!"
He turns to me, he shows me the screen, and he goes, Mickey Mouse just followed us. I was like,
It's so cool.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was a few months later that we saw you, of course, at D23
Yeah.
and everything.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love that you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Oh, yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, for sure.
It was so
However,
cool.
the timing worked out. We were just sitting there waiting for the show to start, and then it came up, and so it just I remember I took a screenshot of it and then whited out all the other notifications. This is the only one that matters.
Yeah, that's really
I
funny.
probably have that somewhere, but yeah,
Aw.
it was a fun moment
It was
for
a cool
us.
moment,
I
yeah. for
love
sure.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So you've
That's
been
great.
doing Mickey Mouse since 2009, right?
Yeah, 2009. So
Wow.
actually, we're in May. Next month, June 7th, is my 16th year doing
Wow.
anniversary. 16
Congratulations.
Years.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congrats.
That is so
That's
cool.
awesome.
That's incredible. That's really
Time
fun
flies.
because for us, we're now hearing your voice in almost everything we watch, which is so cool. There's I think a couple things we realized. One of our favorite kind of pieces of Mickey media is what we call them, but
Okay.
the Three Musketeers.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did the Three Musketeers,
Yeah.
and that was one of, I guess, the last things that the previous Wayne did.
Yeah, Wayne
Yeah.
did Three Musketeers. I forget what year that was, but it's such a good film.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's still our favorite version of the Three Musketeers story. we've watched
Yeah.
the originals and we're like, Mickey's is better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It says
Yeah.
everything.
The
just
music
right.
is great. I actually auditioned with one of the lines from
Oh, wow.
that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'll look at him, Pluto. That's going to be us one day.
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah, he's like, "Here, kid, have a ball." And he's got that. We quote that movie way too often.
Way too often.
That's
And
so cool.
we can't hear any of the classical music that they used without
singing
singing
the songs
and
from the
Petey's
Turtle
singing
Actually,
a
I
phrase.
can't start filming anything without thinking, what's the turtle doing here?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I admittedly I still watch that from time to time.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
So-
It's a good
us
one.
as well.
Us too.
But it's funny to think that, since that, it's all been you.
Yeah,
And
pretty much.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
also got to do like I guess the tail end of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, right? You did a
Yeah,
couple
so
pieces there.
I came in. They decided typically Disney Channel shows they only produce 3 seasons of a show because by the time you get to that 3rd season, the audience may have aged out and gone on to another property,
Yeah.
and then you've got younger people coming in, so you know you don't have to refresh it as much.
Yeah.
But Mickey Mouse Clubhouse has been so tremendously popular since it started that they decided to come back for seasons 4 and 5, which was the very first TV show I did.
Wow, that's really cool.
And
That's
so,
so
if you
cool.
listen to any of those episodes, I'm definitely more so doing a Wayne, attempting to do my Wayne version of Mickey
versus your own
Right.
version.
in terms of like performance and cadence. He had really established how that show, like how Mickey talked to the audience,
Right.
and so like, and I hear it and I'm like, ooh,
That is not my.
you know,
Yeah.
you kind of like organically grow the longer you do it, and
Right.
it becomes a little bit more natural, and so it's less of an impression and more of just performing Mickey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But ironically, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is coming back.
Wow.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Plus is going to
Wow.
premiere very soon. I don't know the exact date. I think it's this fall.
That's
So
super
we're
exciting.
That'll be
back.
fun.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
back.
That's
I love
really
that.
Very
exciting.
happy.
I
Because I
will
grew up
tell
with that
you.
show, and when it was gone for even that little bit, it kind of made me sad to know that it wasn't around anymore.
Sure.
So when it's coming back, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I will say we'll probably be watching. Like,
Yeah,
well, thank you,
actually.
Mickey.
Yeah,
I
for
appreciate
sure.
that.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
be watching.
Yeah, we'll get to the credits. We're like, yeah. That's fun though, because like Kara said, our generation, we grew up. That was the newest Mickey thing going
Sure.
on, and I'm glad they got it right with our generation, and they've kept Mickey Mouse Clubhouse all the way to now.
Yeah,
So,
it's so. I mean, the longevity of Mickey in general is astounding. He's
I know.
90. What is he? 95 plus years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting close to 100 with 2028,
Yeah.
and the character is still appealing and relatable and popular.
Yes.
So that in itself is astounding. But when you stumble upon an iteration of a character like on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and you see how, like you were mentioning, you grew up with it, and you're still willing to go tune in and watch and see, like it's such a testament to the power of a character like Mickey
Yeah.
that really has such humble beginnings. And it's one of my arguments, like Walt knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He wasn't chasing a fad or chasing a trend. He was creating a small personality assigned to the purpose of laughter,
Yes.
an everyman, and it worked.
yeah.
Now, there's always people who want to like, well, Mickey should be more edgy, or Mickey should be more like this trend.
Yeah.
And I always say, good luck. But
Yeah.
it's not, it's such a slippery slope.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
really
I
is.
agree with you.
Yeah.
He's such a timeless, beloved character. You have to be really careful with him, you know?
Yeah. You have to be respectful. You don't want to be like overly precious to the point where you hinder, because I
Right.
think that's also the danger. But I think as long as you respect like the authenticity of him, then you're golden.
Yeah.
The way I see it is, if you want an edgier character, make an edgier character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because let Mickey be Mickey, and you
Yep.
can throw in that flavor somewhere else.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even as like, I don't know, if they want to make a new Fab Five character that pops in from time to time.
Yeah, or like
Let
just
that
make Donald
show up.
freak out.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Donald
Donald could
got
always
it.
freak out.
Yeah.
I've always said with the reacquisition of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit,
Mm-hmm.
and don't take me as like a confirmation of this. I'm pretty
No,
sure
no.
they're developing a TV show with him now, but like that's a character who doesn't really have the historical his character Bible isn't completely written,
Yes.
right?
Exactly.
So there's
Yes.
an
Yeah.
opportunity to make him maybe that edgier version
Yeah.
that Mickey never quite was. Like I think that would be such a successful use of a character like that versus, to your point, trying to fit Mickey into
Yeah.
whatever.
It's so fascinating to me, like how beloved Oswald is for the fact that he's like
You
wasn't
can't find
really
him.
around. Like there's not
No.
really Oswald shorts because like Walt sold him and then got Mickey, but like there's this like huge fandom around Oswald, which I think is so interesting, and
Yeah.
we really don't know anything much about his character.
I
you
think
know?
I think people gravitate towards, well, Disney fans in general are such usually big fans of Walt, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
Oswald is such a monumental part of Walt's story. This character that he started and was like gaining momentum with success, and then actually had it ripped away from him in a very
Yeah.
shady
Exactly.
deal,
Yes.
which then forced him to come up with Mickey Mouse, out of necessity almost. So I think that story of like pivoting and entrepreneurial spirit and all of
Yeah.
that stuff is tied to Mickey, but now people can appreciate Oswald's role in that.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like hate on it. It's no longer a universal character. So you can say like,
Oh,
I'm a
yeah.
Disney fan, so I love Oswald now.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
It's a
Yeah.
fun retro aspect to it.
Yeah, it is. You don't
It
have to be
does.
like, yeah, we can't like Oswald because they stole it. You
Yeah,
know? Now-
exactly. Now you
whatever.
can accept.
Yeah, you can accept it. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool. I was happy when they added him into the remodel of California Adventure. And
Yeah.
They gave him like the gas station at the front
Oh
of the
yeah,
park.
he fits so well
Absolutely.
over there, just with the
It's
era they're
perfect.
going for.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a chronological timeline, right? When you walk down Buena Vista Street, you start with Oswald, and then by the time you get to their hub, I don't know what the technical term is, you've got the
Oh,
Walt
yeah.
and Mickey statue.
Right.
Right.
So there's a nice little progression. And you won't see Oswald anywhere else in the park, if you notice. He's only at the front.
You're right, right
I
at the
did
front.
kinda
Even the
notice
meet and
that,
greet
yeah.
is at the red
Yeah,
trolley right there
exactly.
too. You're
Yeah.
right.
So
You're right.
that's
that's true.
1923, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you progress a little bit further on the
Yeah,
timeline.
you get to Hollywoodland, you kind of go that way. You get the animation building, which almost becomes like
Yeah.
Disneyland up until almost current, but you see
Yeah.
every animated.
Well, I mean, you're not going to
character
draw a
in there.
3D character, right? So it's
Yeah.
all the way up until,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
live action Winnie the Pooh, I guess. or
you
not
go.
live action, 2011 Winnie the Pooh.
2011.
that
Yeah,
one.
there you go.
Yeah.
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 That's really fun, and Marvel just creeps in closer.
Closer and closer.
Eventually, it's going to be right up to Oswald.
Yeah.
Like Oswald and then Avengers.
Right there.
Exactly.
Right
Yeah.
there. I could honestly,
fun.
yeah, you never know.
You
know.
never
The
know.
Carthay Circle, I
won't
think
be
you mean
surprised.
Stark Tower.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Don't
That'd
give
actually
any
be-
ideas.
that'd be-
I'm
that'd
sorry,
be a
please
sick
don't take
remodel.
that as a suggestion.
That's scary being funny. Yeah. So you started in animation though prior to Mickey Mouse, right?
Yeah,
Or-
so technically illustration,
Illustration,
but
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
as an artist, I went to school for illustration. I got a degree in illustration. It was my lifelong dream to be an artist, but more specifically, I wanted to be a Disney animator.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do traditional hand-drawn animation. That's what I grew up watching. I really grew up during the renaissance of Disney animation with The
Yeah.
Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin.
Classics.
And
So good,
so like that, the magic that happened from the hand of an artist drawing and the way they could create such beautiful life with a pencil was so appealing to me. I was also just a huge Walt Disney fan. Like I
Yeah.
loved his history, I loved his journey, I was fascinated by his story. So I wanted to work for Disney,
Yeah.
and that helped me choose a college. I
Yeah.
went to Ringling College of Art and Design in Florida, and one of the big selling features for me was in their I don't know what you call it, their pamphlet, their
Oh,
catalog
yeah.
or
Oh, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
They mentioned that illustration majors had an opportunity to internship with Disney
Oh,
Animation.
wow.
Like that was one of the companies that came and recruited. And I was like,
Very
I need that opportunity.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
so I got my start in art. I kind of like my dream was always work for Disney, but it broadened. The more I learned, the more opportunities I saw out there. Got really interested in themed entertainment design, and of course, Imagineering was on my radar. And,
Absolutely.
but ultimately, I ended up getting a job with Hallmark Greeting Cards in Kansas City, Missouri, which had its own Walt history,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
being Kansas
Yeah.
City.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was an artist. The voice acting thing was never on my radar.
Wow. That is so funny to me that just how life just happens that way sometimes. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just like things just unfold and you're like, look what I'm going to be doing for the next 16 years. Like
Yeah.
you never
Yeah.
imagined
Yeah.
that would
No.
be what you would be doing.
It was not on my bingo card. I had no idea, and I always say, it was no secret that I wanted to work for Disney.
Yeah.
Right.
And I did a Mickey impression, but I never said to myself or to anyone, I want to be the voice of Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
I did catch myself at moments like watching, a Disney Treasures interview with Wayne Allwine and Russi Taylor and being like, wow, what a cool job. Like,
Yeah.
it must be so cool to be the voice of Mickey Mouse. Of course I thought of that.
Right.
I've
Yeah.
thought that. You can
Yeah.
be That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I never said like I want to do that. And I always jokingly say like it's almost like one of those contestants on a talent show, and they're like, my whole family thinks I'm such a wonderful singer, and then they sing, and you're like, ooh, your family's lying to you. Like
Yes,
I almost
exactly.
hope that if I had gone around being like, I'm gonna be the voice of Mickey Mouse someday, they would have been like, oh, I just hit the mic.
you're good.
They would have bopped me on the head and be like,
No.
like, come on,
Stick to drawing.
like, come up with a realistic pursuit.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for the way it did come out of left field.
Yeah.
Very unexpected. I always say it's a dream come true that I didn't know I had. Like it was a
Yeah.
dream I wasn't aware of, but
It
of
probably
course.
made it better because you got to play. You know what I mean? I think if
Yeah.
you went into it trying to be like a voice actor or Mickey or any of these things,
There's so
it
much
wouldn't have been as
pressure.
authentic. It
Yeah.
would have like almost too much
Exactly, yeah.
pressure to like get it right almost.
Yeah,
But-
there's a weird thing. I mean, and you guys, being in Southern California, you kind of get the entertainment vibe. You're
Yeah,
aware of
yes.
it, and I think there is something, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but there's something about someone who's going after a specific role because they see themselves in it, or they really want it, or sometimes even it's what they can get from it.
Yeah.
I can tell you 100% I went into auditioning for this role just because I was like, oh my gosh, it's Mickey Mouse. Like,
Yeah.
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I wasn't thinking, oh, one day I'll be sitting with the Hey Insiders and like, sorry, the Insiders, not the Hey
I
Insiders,
love
but
it.
the Insiders and
Talking about
talking about this. Like that, it was
Yeah.
just like, that'll be so cool. Like Walt Disney did that. And I want to like at least take the chance of trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So to your point, I'm very grateful that it happened that way because I was somebody who grew up a little bit timid and afraid. I was and I still am shy. People don't believe that, but I wanted to play it safe. I wanted things like laid out for me, and it was like, well, if I go to school and I get this degree, then I get this job, and then my life is like this.
Yes.
So when this opportunity came, it required this like
go for
risk
it.
and
Yeah.
gusto that I didn't necessarily know I had. And since then, it's almost become my mantra. I'm like, you have to live a life where you take chances
Yeah.
and you just give it all, because that makes life an adventure. And if
Yeah.
you're not living an adventure, then what's the point?
Yes.
like
I totally agree with
have
you.
fun. And so I learned so much about myself in the process. And even in the process before I was officially offered the role, I was learning about myself. I was like, wow, I got asked to do a callback audition. Like
Yeah.
I took a chance and I got to do this.
Yeah.
Like each step along the way, I was like, this is a really cool story to tell.
Yeah.
And if it
Yeah.
ends here, it's still a cool story to tell. Like
Yeah.
someday I'll tell my nieces and my nephews or my friends, I'll be like, this one time I did this, and I'll have learned something from it.
Yeah.
Never anticipating or expecting, I guess, what would come or what the next step was.
Yes.
So I've been playing for 16 years and
Yeah.
I'm still being surprised, which is the best part. you
That
know?
is so cool.
Yeah.
That's
I
amazing.
love that.
That's such a great perspective. And it's almost how you know it was truly like meant to be, maybe, right? Because, like you said, if you set out to do something like be the voice of Mickey, that opportunity may not even come up, right?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
so the way that you were able to just kind of be in the moment and it happened, it's like,
Yeah.
that's how you know it was just meant to
Yeah.
be.
Life
Every day
has
is a
a
grand
fun way.
adventure, right? That's what,
Yeah.
that's what we say. Every day is
Yeah?
a grand adventure.
I love
that.
Yeah, some of our-
That's some of our.
No,
Yeah.
truly, I the night I found out about the auditions, I sat down, opened my laptop before bed, and I had an email that said, "Do you want to be the voice of Mickey Mouse?"
Oh my gosh.
So,
Wow.
so
Cool.
call it what you will, fate, God, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like life just has a way of presenting these opportunities, and it's up to you to be willing to accept the challenge, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
For
yeah.
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
just like
You take on the risk.
go all in, really. Just like,
Yeah.
all right, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Let's see what this path has. In
And I
store
kid
for
you
us.
not, I was talking to my dog like Mickey Mouse the day that I got that email. So I've shared it so many times, but I really thought my friends were pranking me.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
like, oh, they came by and they heard me talking like Mickey, and now they're making fun of me.
what did you say?
I was like, this is a very elaborate email for them to concoct
Yeah.
to make this up. So
At Disney.com, really? How'd they
Yeah.
get that?
This is
like,
like
that's
this is so
weird.
formal.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like they put a lot of thought in. There's so much
Yeah.
history and really weird. Okay,
Yeah.
Like
but
you couldn't even blame it on AI then.
I
So
know,
they
you
put it on
couldn't.
ChatGPT.
It was the
Yeah.
original.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could be.
It was like, write me a Disney official email. I was like, boom.
Again,
Yeah.
please don't do that.
No,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're a lot less creative now. We just have to come up with the idea and what
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I have mixed feelings about all of
No,
that.
us too.
We don't have time for that though.
No,
so
we
we'll
don't.
save that for the
We
next
don't.
episode.
We probably agree though.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
probably agree.
Big can of worms there. But yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
Okay, but kind of an interesting thing is you said you did the impression of Mickey, but were there any other impressions that you did growing up?
Not really, because you hear that a lot from voice actors, right?
Right.
They'll
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I grew up mimicking the talk show hosts or the cartoon characters that I watch."
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, although I will say Fantasmic was always very big for me. I remember when it debuted in 1992. It's my favorite Disney show of all time.
Amazing.
And how I learned to do Mickey's voice was I had the soundtrack on CD and I'd listen to it all the time. My brother and I would like play Fantasmic. We would put on our own productions of it.
Aw.
And in listening to it, I would it's almost like you sing along with a song, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
I was
Yeah.
talking along with the characters. So I did everything from Mickey to the Magic Mirror to the Evil Queen. You know, like I was just kind of just in singing and talking
Yeah, just
along with
acting.
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of my impressions. I also grew up with all of my parents' old LPs of Disney albums and whatnot. So
Nice.
I had my
Very
little
fun.
Fisher Price record player, and I put them on and listened to all that stuff. And I know that singing along with all those songs, I was also mimicking Baloo or
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
the Aristocats or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So maybe even though I didn't think I was doing impressions, I was kind of training my ear to pick up on different character actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
I can see that for
profiles
sure,
each
yeah.
of them,
I
right?
know.
Kind of the cadence.
It's always so funny to me, but like whenever we're watching a movie, I can like if I close my eyes, I can envision a different character that voice actor's done, and you can just kind
Oh,
of like,
sure,
you know,
yeah,
you just
yeah.
kind of like hear it, right? Like
Yeah.
the way like Winnie the Pooh and Caw are like the same, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, and they
Yeah.
sound the
Everything
same.
hollow, yeah.
And
You know?
Roquefort the Mouse from Aristocats, I can't look at him
Also-
and not see Winnie the Pooh as well when I
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
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 No, but but there's like different characters like that, right? Where
Sure.
you can, you know, you let your ear pick up
Yeah,
on it. You
yeah.
kind of like, you know.
The actor's tone is kind of so identifiable that even the small little tweaks they make per character,
Yeah.
you still hear
can still pick up
like
on
the
it.
base
Like,
of it all,
oh,
right?
yeah.
I know
yeah.
that voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
but those actors who do that like are so wildly talented.
I know.
I've only done like small little bit roles on a TV show or whatever. You know, it's
Right,
like,
right.
oh, we need a skater in this scene, and so I'll do that.
Very
But like,
nice.
I'm not really stretching my acting muscles in
Right,
a way that like
yeah.
I'm disguising my voice. Like at that point, it's just kind of Brett.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
No, yeah.
which is
I know
kind
what
of the
you
trick
mean.
of it. Like Mickey already is the trick voice, and so I
Yeah.
can kind of rely on this to be so many other things, and it's not going to be as identifiable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone that always impresses me like that is Jim Cummings because
Oh, yeah.
sometimes when he does a character, you don't even know it's him because he's able to just disguise his voice and kind of morph into a new character
Yeah.
altogether. He really
Yeah.
amazes me with that.
And he's doing these videos now where he does all of them, and I'm like, wow, okay, it's the same face and all these different characters.
A lot, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's funny. The longer I've known Jim, and the more I've gotten to know him and his vocal characteristics, I'm discovering roles of his that I didn't know. I'm like, oh, that commercial is Jim. Like, oh wow,
That must be him.
that's
Yeah.
Jim in that too. Weird. Did not
That's so
know.
funny.
Yeah,
That's
It's
great.
Fun to discover those things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good point.
For
'cause
sure.
He just kind of shows up, right? And you're like, oh.
He's very prolific. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So my question is like, what was the moment where you just like, were like, wow, I can't believe this is my life. Like I can't like, and maybe it was Mickey in a good way, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it was getting Mickey, but like, was there like a moment where you're like, wow, I just can't believe that like this is what I get to do every day.
I mean, I've had a lot of those moments.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can narrow it down to just one, but
That makes sense.
yeah, I mean, it's like the moment that they offered me this role was
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've shared before, like, you know, at that point I was flying out to from Kansas City out to Burbank to record. I hadn't made the move yet, and so I had time to kill before the airport. And the day they offered me the role, I had like an hour to kill before
Nice.
my ride to the airport showed up. And I walked around the Disney studio lot listening to When You Wish Upon a Star, and I literally thought what you just asked me. I was like, I cannot believe that this is my life. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, and I found myself being like, what is life? What is it going to be like? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had so many of those moments, whether it's in this role, whether it's outside of it, you know.
Yeah.
This is a dorky tangent, but I'm a big train fan, steam trains in particular, and I took a job at Knott's Berry Farm for
Wow.
a while operating their steam trains, and that was one of
That's
those moments
cool.
where I'm like, I can't believe I get to do this. This is
Yeah.
so cool.
I get to
Yeah.
operate a steam train?
Yeah.
Like, that's cool
Yeah.
too.
I don't know. It's like life presents those moments to me that when I got married, I was like, I can't believe I'm getting married. Like,
Yeah,
there's
there's
so many
lots of big moments.
things that have happened over the years. The people I've met, the opportunities I've had. I'm constantly kind of just being like, oh my gosh, this is my life.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, wow.
which is a great grounding thing to remember because that's not to say that I haven't had low points in life too, right? And so
Absolutely.
it's like so important to be able to say like, but Brett, remember you just had that experience where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is my life.
Yeah.
Like, don't let this current moment trump whatever that excitement is. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
totally understand. That's a good thing to remember. You know, life has its
Yeah,
highs and
whenever
lows.
you're in the middle
For
of
sure.
life, you can just let yourself stop and go like, but wait, look where I was and look where I am now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's gonna happen one day? You know,
Exactly.
what's gonna keep being?
If it can change that much, how much more can it change?
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, I always say, like, I'm not somebody who has regrets.
Yeah.
But that does not mean I don't have things that could have gone better, right? And that doesn't mean that I'm not responsible for some of those decisions that didn't go great.
Right.
But I don't see the point in dwelling on those moments.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Because regardless, I have hope that I've learned something and I'm now informing the way I move forward in a different way, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not really I know I've had bad moments in my life. I can't list them on my hands like I can the fun times, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Good,
go through
good.
like, these are the
no.
fun things that happened,
Yeah,
but then
please
these
don't.
were the awful times.
Oh yeah.
Like, who,
Yeah.
like,
That we have to retitle the episode.
I know.
Like horrible moments.
I know. I'm like, that would not be so totally awesome.
it's not all magic.
Yeah.
No, just
Docuseries.
just kidding. Because I choose magic.
Exactly.
There you go.
Let's go. That's great.
That's fabulous. Yeah. Well, just almost kind of that perspective, right? That's how you either win or you learn, right? And it's like
Yeah.
you don't have these opportunities. You know, maybe some things don't go the exact perfect way, but if you have kind of overall the right things going and the right outlook, then
Yeah.
you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's fantastic.
Yep. I totally believe in that.
Yeah, us too.
That's
Us
great.
too. I hope that you brought up Choose Magic. We have so much fun with our Choose Magic. We think it's a blast.
Yeah.
We started. It's kind of funny. Our fans actually started.
They chose it.
They
Oh, really?
chose Choose
Okay.
Magic,
They
which is
did,
pretty awesome.
yeah.
We were we did a lot of live streams, and we still do a lot of live streams. But we just talk to our audience like for an hour to 2 hours twice a week.
Wow.
And so we really we became friends with them.
Yeah, we got
it
to
was
know a lot
Yeah.
of
really
really
cool.
people.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
started pretty intensely in the pandemic because we were all trying to find ways to keep the magic in our lives through all that hard stuff.
Yeah.
And it started as magic makers, and it kind of evolved into this Choose Magic thing.
Yeah.
And I just love it.
At Magic
It's so
Makers,
cool.
one of the things we
Fantastic.
did is our audience helped us do this, but we ended up sending care packages to the Make-A-Wish kids whose trips got canceled. So
Oh,
we
wow.
put a
Yeah.
bunch of Disney stuff in it and then make it all happen and then ship it out, and then we had a assembly line chain almost of fans.
It was
Yeah, we
like,
amazing.
all
had,
contributed
animation
different
students
things.
in Australia
Oh, wow,
shipping
that's
us these
so cool.
hand-drawn cards.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did these amazing
It was just
sketches of
incredible.
And then we had
Yeah.
somebody making ears or blankets or whatever, and they all put it together, and then we sent it out. And so that was the
incredible.
Making Magic thing, and then as it evolved, we turned into Choose Magic, and it kind
Yeah.
of evolved
Love
into
it.
that. So
It's such a great mantra. I mean,
Yeah, thank you.
It's
Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah.
we love it. We love it. It's been really I don't know, just fun. And we did the chalk walk one year.
Yep.
And we put our whole team in Choose Magic in the park, and it looked so cool. It was,
Yeah,
it was so
it was
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've made it an every year thing
Yeah, we'll
now.
probably have to
so
do it
we'll have
again.
the Choose Magic for this chalk walk coming up too.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna-
that'll be fun.
Yeah,
It's a good tribe to be a part of.
It
That's
is.
awesome.
It is.
For
It feels
sure.
it feels good to give back. you know?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course. My
it's-
gosh.
yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing greater than that, actually. It's like take the way your life has been benefited and help those who are less fortunate. That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
You have to carry
fantastic.
it forward and have to just do what you can.
Yeah.
Something we make sure to do every time that we talk about Choose Magic is any of the funds that are used, we use the proceeds and we sell Choose Magic to go towards some of these magic making projects that we've come up with. So we've been able to, like Adam talked about, care packages to Make-A-Wish kids. We've done, we've brought people to Disneyland who have never been. There's all these amazing things we do, and so that's another reason we love Choose Magic is it helps us make magic and help others choose magic.
It does. And actually, one of my favorite Choose Magic stories isn't any of the large scale things, but we were at the last D23 event and one of our fans came up and they
Yes.
gave us friendship bracelets that say Choose Magic on them.
That's
they
awesome.
gave us
And-
these.
I don't know, it's a tangible show of the impact that your choices have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it made me really emotional. And
Yeah.
I love it now. I wear it all the time.
I love that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's so cool.
Yeah, that's a little bit more about us. and,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, some of the
anyway.
things we did.
Yeah.
It's fun when, because you guys understand you're constantly putting yourselves out there and you're sharing things about yourselves and you're doing it with the assumption that there's an audience out there. But when you
Yeah.
actually get to connect with that audience
Yes.
in a tangible way, like someone gifting you a friendship bracelet, like it almost makes it real in a way that you almost had to pretend. Like, you know, it's like
Exactly.
I mean, you're just talking to a camera sometimes.
yeah,
you
no,
know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Or I'm just talking
never
to a
know.
microphone and I'm like, I hope that there's somebody on the other end receiving this well. And so when I do an appearance or a Comic-Con or whatever, and people come up and they share what it means to you, or if I'm at the parks and I'm watching the Castle Show at Magic Kingdom and I'm seeing the crowd or watching Fantasmic and people are screaming and cheering for Mickey, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, I get to be a part of that. Like I helped, I
For sure.
contributed a little bit of something that's
Yes.
you know these people are responding to. That it's really powerful to see how your work is received, right?
And Mickey is such an emotional connection for a lot of people.
Yeah,
I mean,
he really
when
is.
you put Mickey in Enchantment, it made that show so much better at the Magic Kingdom,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Like
that was a great
Mickey
addition.
You
intro
Are the
that
Magic,
they added
yeah.
to You Are the
Yeah,
Magic.
because we actually got to see both versions, kind of
Yeah.
almost back to
Almost
back.
back to
pretty
back
close.
because
Okay.
we were there when it transitioned. So we
Oh,
saw
wow.
it at the beginning of our trip and at the end of our trip. It was two different shows.
Oh my gosh, we were there on the same day then.
Oh,
I
wow.
was there for the second version
Yeah.
debuted. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
so cool.
And so it was so interesting to see the change in the crowd and feel the change of the impact of the show once Mickey was added to the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was great because Mickey was an ambassador for Walt's story at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that place is named Walt Disney World for a reason. Roy coined it that for a reason. And the first version was fantastic, and then there was this need or this ask from the fans to like kind of bring a little bit more of that Walt into the celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was
Exactly.
such a cool way of doing it to have Mickey be there to, in a way, speak for Walt, right?
Yeah.
Because his
Exactly, yeah.
sentiment of
You are the magic.
is what Walt would have said. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
such-
it's really cool.
Yeah, that's just perfect. Like everything
It really
about
is.
that is just so cool. And like they said, seeing both versions of the show and knowing the crowd that it meant so much to them.
Yeah.
I hope that sits with you while you're in the booth too, because like you said, it can get lonely, right? When you're in a room and you're not like you're just talking, right? And you're like, is
But
this ever gonna be
in
anywhere?
voiceover, like even the guy on the other side of the wall is just in your headphones. Like you're really by
Yeah,
yourself.
you are. You're very
Exactly.
isolated.
Yeah.
You're very
Yeah.
isolated. And you brought up COVID. I mean, even
Yeah.
then, it's even more isolated. You're
I
going into
know.
your
Yeah.
little closet at home, and in some ways, we haven't even. It's funny, voiceover. We're back in the studio, but so many people who used to show up to the studio with you, whether the show director or the writer or producer or whatnot, they're just on Zoom now.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
me and a microphone and an iPad with a bunch of people on it, and then usually a vocal director and an engineer on the other side of the glass.
Wow.
So you really are standing in a room by yourself for a few hours on end. It's
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. You're not getting, and I have had the opportunity to voice Mickey in live settings.
Oh, that's
which
very
is
cool.
so cool because
Yeah.
then it's theater, it's live theater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get to play
Yeah.
off each other, which is
Yeah.
like that's what makes it so
Which
good.
nothing. We brought up California Adventure a minute ago and like the redesign of it with Buena Vista Street, and I was there when it like for the official dedication of it.
Oh,
That's
very
cool.
cool.
Mickey appeared on stage with Bob Iger and like this gigantic, I forget what the number was, but they had so many cast members who came out for this moment, right?
Wow.
And we had rehearsed this over nights for a couple of days in a row. And I was there voicing Mickey live, which was the point of it all, but there wasn't really the room to go off script. So I'm live, but I'm still just reading from a script
Right, right.
which might as well have been recorded. And after we'd rehearsed enough times, one of my directors was like, just have some fun with this one.
Yes.
And
Nice.
so we're like, the director of the show called a cut and he's giving some notes and it's just Mickey on stage, just kind of hanging out. And I saw my chance and I was like,
Excuse me, Randy.
and Mickey is now talking to the show director and,
Yeah.
and he was like, yes, Mickey?
Yes, Mickey.
He was like,
Sorry to interrupt. I was just wondering. I'm watching them ride in on those pink flamingos. Is there any chance I could do that?
And he was like, we'll see what we can do. Meanwhile, none of the cast in the show knew
Right.
that, I don't want to take away the magic.
No.
Nobody knew that Mickey was like being that attentive in the show.
right,
They're very
right,
used to
right.
Mickey just saying his lines
Right,
and, it's
right.
like,
Yeah.
and
They're like,
so
"Whoa, Mickey's
they
right
were kind
here."
of caught like, what? Like, what is Mickey asking?
Like
And a crowd had gathered outside the gates waiting for the opening the next day, and I heard them roar from beyond the
God.
gates of the Esplanade. And I have to admit, it was a pretty cool power
Oh, yeah.
to wield.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh,
was like,
I
whoa.
can Mickey can get away with a lot at this
Yeah.
moment. Like the fact that he just has to ride a pink flamingo is tame, you know, like
Yeah.
Corn dogs for everyone.
And then he's like, no.
yeah, like no.
I would
But
totally be
it
like,
was
Mickey,
fun.
how many fingers am I holding up? Just see how attentive it was.
Hey,
That's
you
right.
wear the Choose Magic
He
shirt.
would have
you know?
known.
You wear the orange shirt. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
awesome.
Almost like a Turtle Talk with Crush, but with Mickey.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that would
Yeah.
be really fun.
Yeah.
Did you guys? Maybe you're too young. Did you never experience Mickey interacting with people at D23 Expo? Because there was a time when he did that. It was essentially Turtle Talk.
There was.
I
Mickey was
remember
there.
last D23 we were there, and there was a
Oh,
little
yes.
bit, but
Yeah.
it was kind of invite.
Yeah,
heavy
there was like
break.
a
So-
social
Right.
media.
Yeah, so I
yeah,
saw
thing,
like
yeah.
we didn't get to do it, but I did
Okay.
see. I
Some
did
of the
see
people,
some of that.
interacted.
So I got to interact with
Well,
Mickey.
and we started this 7 years ago, 8 years ago,
Yeah,
almost.
almost 8 years ago.
And we weren't quite convention age at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't done a D23 outside of insiders.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
we,
Yeah.
we did like
Yeah.
one day at one before, just like we went one day, had like the single day ticket, but that was it.
Okay.
And so
Since insiders, we've
Since-
been
to
pretty
everyone.
hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to be.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's where.
Well, look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was for those who got to experience, it was a really cool
Yeah.
experience. They used to have it at Magic Kingdom. It's called Magic Words with Mickey, and you could go meet and take your picture with Mickey, and he told jokes, and he, commented on the things people were wearing. It was a really cool
Wow.
experience.
That's
That is so cool.
Oh,
I
man.
love when we get to be creative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just see a different side of these characters or these moments, or just interact in a new, unique way. It was so cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorite rides at Disneyland actually is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just love that we have a Mickey Mouse attraction finally.
It's great, yeah.
yeah. It's really, really good too. And I love the trackless capabilities.
That technology is incredible.
Yeah.
And it feels like you're actually in a cartoon.
In a cartoon, which was the whole point of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love the enhancement that actually the queue of that ride adds at
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
Disneyland's
Because
cute, yeah.
seeing the props of all these movies we've watched makes it
Even,
feel
but they're
so
animated,
real.
but then there's props.
But
But
there's
then they're
props.
real.
Yeah.
But then they're here.
I love that they did that, and they've even got we talked about Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. They've got the Mouse Cadooer there,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
They've got the
Exactly.
sorcerer
Yeah.
hat. They've got it's just all of these iconic moments. You're like,
Yeah.
that is so cool.
So we freaked out when we saw the Mouse Cadoodle, but it was
I'm like,
hilarious.
oh my gosh, it's Toodles.
I know it's Toodles. But a friend of ours was probably the 12 or 13 age where it's the I don't watch Disney Junior anymore, whatever.
Okay.
But we were going through the line and she's standing there and then she goes, I have to get my picture with Toodles. she's
Yeah.
she's
It was so
I
fun.
have to get a photo right now. And then
Right
she
now.
took the photo.
Great.
It was so funny. And I just loved that that character in that show was gone so far across generations. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's the magic of any Disney park, right? Is it doesn't matter how old you are, you instantly are transported back to those core memories of childhood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
those moments.
Yeah.
One of them for me, when we're talking about that queue, and I think Disney just did such a good job with that queue and the whole attraction. But right as you're going in, there's the fireplace from the cartoon where Mickey is Chip and Dale
oh, yeah,
sneak into
the Christmas
Christmas
tree.
Christmas
Yeah.
tree.
And they
Yeah.
have
Pluto's
the
Christmas tree, yeah.
Santas that they hide in, and he lights the candle
Yeah.
or whatever.
And one of them was
Seeing
the
that-
hat off. or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
Yeah.
Just
The-
something
the
about
big
that moment, just the same thing where it just totally made you feel like they were on set, filming these cartoons,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And two chipmunks came in, just putting
Well,
it to
it's
life.
so niche too, right?
Yeah.
That's a very specific thing for you to know. You've kind of gone back in the history at that point. That's
Yeah.
not a mainstream cartoon that everyone's watching. And
Right.
and similar reaction, because I remember watching that and I wanted Santa's what Chip and Dale disguise themselves as.
Yeah.
Right.
I want those candles.
Yes.
I want
Yes,
those on my
me
mantle.
too.
So
100%.
someone needs to
I
come
would
up with
definitely
those.
buy those.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
we're just
Wow.
giving you ideas to take our money. Just
Apparently,
Disney, just
yeah, they would
here's-
sell
we,
that.
We would buy it.
I know some merchandise people. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah,
we
we
They're
had
easy
this
enough.
idea.
need the little.
I was on a podcast, and we just
We were we came up with this idea.
We think you should do it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
They have Kronk shoulder people.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Yeah, the
yeah.
long
They do have
shoulders.
the Kronk shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah. like the
Characters.
angel and devil
Yeah,
prawns.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they started selling those in the park with little magnets.
Yeah.
And like you have to buy them together. So
Oh,
it's a set.
it's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
perfect.
awesome. They also have Chip and Dale in the same vein, but still,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
So maybe
I
they
love
listen
that.
a little bit.
Yeah,
they might
they
a little
listen.
bit. Yeah,
They listen.
yeah, they do.
They do.
They do.
Yeah.
All right, so I have always wondered, like, how to do. How do I say how to do the Mickey voice? I don't know. I don't know if I could ask.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like,
Are there
how-
technics to
Yeah,
doing Mickey's
yeah.
voice? That's what
is-
you want to know.
Yeah, is there like, because I feel like I've tried it before, but it doesn't really sound like Mickey. You know? So I'm just curious, like.
Yeah, are there? Well, there definitely are techniques. I'm trying to think. What is the simplest way of putting it? Mickey is a male falsetto voice.
Right.
Sorry that you
Yeah.
can still try,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's what he is. You know,
Yeah.
again, think back to the history of Mickey's voice. It was Walt Disney voicing
Yeah.
Mickey
Yeah.
in the beginning, and I don't know how accurate this story is, but I've heard it told. You know, that they were doing auditions, holding auditions to cast somebody as the voice of Mickey, and Walt just wasn't happy with what he was hearing. He
Yeah.
kept saying, "No, it's not like that. It's like this." It's like, and somebody eventually said, "Well, Walt, why don't you just do it?"
Do it.
Yeah.
Step in there.
And
You
so
give it a
he
try.
did from 1928 in Steamboat Willie all the way up till Fun and Fancy Free in 1947.
Wow.
So I guess my first tip when it comes to doing Mickey's voice is know the history and so know
Yes.
what you're going after. I think
Yes.
sometimes when it comes to character voices, we just kind of we have this like generic version in our minds, like Mickey's just a high pitched voice. And it's like
Yeah.
"Nah,
Yeah.
there's a little bit more than that, right?
Right.
So he's a falsetto. And I love there's this great interview of Wayne Allwine, my predecessor, talking about doing Mickey's voice, and it's on the behind the scenes footage of Mickey's Christmas Carol from the
Oh,
early
that's cool.
'80s. And he says, Mickey is a mid-range falsetto. He goes, so this is my normal voice, and I go a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, and then
Right there, that's Mickey.
Ah, that's cool.
Mickey's not
nice.
too low. It's not.
I'm Mickey.
He's
Right.
not too
Yeah.
high.
I'm Mickey. He's somewhere right in the middle.
Yeah.
So-
it,
So
makes it
right.
sound so natural.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
and
Like-
yeah, and
like
Mickey's
his voice.
Mickey's conversational, right?
Right.
Like I think
Yeah.
the one thing I've noticed that a lot of people make the mistake of doing is they want to create that high pitched voice, and so they
Uh-huh.
like tighten up.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, and I think I even saw you do it. You're
Uh-huh,
like,
yeah.
I think I might have your voice.
Yeah.
Like you tighten everything, and it
Yeah.
doesn't work. The falsetto is this is getting really technical now.
No,
but
I love
it's,
it.
No, it's
Oh, yeah.
great.
it's about falsetto is about sinuses, right? So it's
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
it's about the air flowing through. It's almost a little less about your vocal cords and more about how your air is being utilized to
Yeah.
make the noise.
Yeah.
And so when you're able to relax it all,
Uh-huh.
you can kind of
Oh boy.
make a nice
Wow.
round sound.
Oh boy.
It's better.
Closer,
yeah.
closer,
yeah.
yeah.
So
I like it. Definitely getting there.
Oh boy.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's pretty good. All right, Eric, your turn.
See, now I'm nervous. That's so funny. I thought it was gonna come out, and then it just didn't.
It happens to the best of us.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Yeah, I like that. I like
Just
that.
relax.
Yeah.
You know,
There you
and then
go.
you can always attempt the laugh, but that's
Oh wait.
the laugh is a tricky thing, and Wayne kind of solidified that 2-beat laugh. It's like a weird glottal stop thing,
Yeah,
so
okay.
it's,
Yeah.
it's not really like a ha-ha.
Yeah.
But
Right.
but Walt actually, Walt was a little bit more just breathy,
Right. Right.
and then Wayne
Yeah.
did the. So
Yeah.
there's a progression of Mickey
Yeah.
sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and
yeah.
That's
a-
also
like,
good. I
Like
love
a good
that.
progression almost for Wayne's era that he did the voice was it became like you can't replicate that, right? Because he kind of like he's laughing and he's excited, but it's not like a natural, like you said, it's not a natural bust out ha ha ha.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's like an
It's
interjection.
a little like
almost.
subtle chuckle.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
middle.
Yeah.
It's like dispersed in, and it's funny. I find myself like I've adopted that where I'll be talking and then kind of just like add a little chuckle in, and I'm like, oh, it's so Mickey.
Yeah.
But that's what happens,
Yeah.
It's
like,
Mickey, but down here.
Yeah,
Like-
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
Well, that's
great.
But Wayne when you think about Wayne's career, he started in 1977.
Okay.
There was a new Mickey Mouse Club on TV then, and so he did the intros to that. But then, of course, Mickey's Christmas Carol in the early 80s is when he kind of like solidified his being the official voice.
Yeah.
And that's when character voices was kind of established for the sole purpose of having one voice for every character.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was a time when Disney Channel was being created. You had the Disney parks. You had two parks, or almost 3 parks by that point,
Yeah.
in full force. And so Roy Disney said, we've got to have consistency because these characters are going to be all over the place, whether you hear them on TV or in the theme parks or on a toy. And so Wayne, did so much. Like, you think about how many TV shows he did, how many parades, how many toys. One of the things, I thought I was a huge Mickey fan. I was like, I'm gonna do some TV shows and then the parades and stuff.
Yeah.
I had no idea that I'd be doing commercials for diapers or
Yes.
like corporate
Right.
events or how many talking toys I do or the video games or the albums or like so many different things.
He even sings a lot sometimes too.
Mickey sings, and in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Plus, we are singing every episode, multiple songs.
Wow.
Yeah, we sing a ton.
Yeah.
We've had we did an album with like some jazz standards,
Yeah.
We've done Christmas albums. The latest stop motion project we've done, which were like Halloween and Christmas themed.
Yes,
there's
I
some
watched
great
those.
music in those. There's a lot of things. It's funny. I was just thinking today. Everyone's a critic, right? And I'm not. Being criticized is something that's happened to me.
Absolutely.
And it's usually when people don't like understand the process of like, sometimes people will be like, well, that Mickey didn't sound very good, and I'm like, well, first of all, I didn't record specifically for that. That audio was pulled from something else I did.
Yeah.
So the acting may have sounded weird, and then also when it's like on a tiny sound chip in a toy or a giant inflatable or something, like that changes the audio quality. But I found myself thinking like, it's all the times when no one has anything to say that I should be like,
I guess
pretty good
job.
job well done.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because then people are just hearing Mickey. Like to them,
Yes.
it's just Mickey. They don't feel the need to go, well, Brett sounded weird.
No,
Yeah.
they're like,
It's
oh
like,
wow,
it was just Mickey,
They,
and that's how it
forget that
should
you
be.
even do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're
They'll
listening
forget,
and they're
yeah.
like, oh yeah, that was you, wasn't
Like
it?
I get a lot. They're like, oh, did you do that? Or I saw this thing. Was that you? I'm like, yeah.
If it was Mickey, it was probably me.
Yeah. Mickey was on
Exactly.
Dancing with the Stars. Was that you? Yeah.
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 Like,
American
if it's
Idol. Yeah. Wheel
After
of Fortune.
2009 and you hear the mouse,
Yeah.
probably me.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah.
That's
So
fun.
there's a lot of stuff I've worked on.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
And I'm glad you mentioned video games just for a minute, because as we're scrolling through, just kind of as you mentioned, we scrolled through your credits, even though it's obviously any time we've heard Mickey in the last
Right.
16 years.
But one that stuck out to us that we read it and we're like, oh, I guess that would have been him.
Yeah.
Was Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
video
We
games.
love
We're
those
like,
games.
yeah.
We love
And
those
so we're
games.
like, oh.
You're like, you're right. He's
Yeah.
in that world too. It's
Yeah.
like, and then of course, like we know Mickey's in the world, and we know that like the game has that Disney tie, and it's like, oh yeah, that is him. that does that, right?
Yeah.
Everything since Birth by Sleep, I think was the first one I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we did some like small like Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance,
Yeah.
and then up through the latest.
Yeah, all the way up to
Stage
current.
three, so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mickey's always in those, and that's just like, that was the coolest thing in the world to me growing up, because we kind of timed. We grew up just in time with those games.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so seeing Disney characters in this like open world video game thing where he was going to the different Disney places and
So cool.
having Mickey
So
be one of
cool.
the characters, right? And not just, when you hear there's going to be like this action video game with Mickey, you think it's these characters and then Mickey's going to show up at the end and say good job, right? Instead, like
No.
He's in
Mickey's
it.
like in the war,
Yeah.
like in that game. And so that
Yeah.
was the coolest thing in
Well,
the
and
world
you get
to
to
us.
play as him sometimes in the second
If
one.
you die.
If
Yeah.
you die.
If you die and you're lucky.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like,
Mickey comes through and saves you.
If
It's
you're
like,
lucky
oh.
enough to die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then you get to play as Mickey.
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, but that was just something I had to bring up as a huge fan of that game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
King Mickey is amazing, and it's
Yeah.
fun because he's such a departure from the typical Mickey that I'm
Yeah.
voicing. He's not the preschool Mickey. He's not the theme park Mickey.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a totally different.
Like a teenager audience Mickey versus some
Yeah.
of the younger audience or
Yeah,
whatever. which
he's
is
like
pretty cool.
he's wise, but he's also like a warrior.
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really cool.
And yet, at his core, he's still just Mickey.
yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's what's beautiful about the game is how they're able.
Oh, there's so much
pull
heart
that
in
in.
that whole story.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So my friends are my power or something like that. They're
Yeah.
whatever one of those quotes are. But
Yeah.
yeah, just
Yeah.
like the message in the game is actually like so good.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
Yeah.
it's a good one.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, we we played all those games. We
Yeah.
played and
All of
beat
them.
Literally all of
games.
them.
Did you guys
Yeah.
play Epic Mickey?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we
I
did
did
that
that
one
as
too.
well. Yeah.
Well, that's
Nice.
awesome
Okay.
too.
There
See,
was-
that was a really fun one.
Yeah.
And it was unreasonably hard.
It was very hard. I think
especially at the age I was playing it.
I couldn't get past, well, for the age I was playing, I couldn't get past
Good.
level 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, well, that was cool, but I can't get past that. So
I still sometimes play the DS game, and I cannot get past where I stopped.
Aladdin.
Yeah, Aladdin.
Yeah,
And then Eric,
I remember.
Eric
Yeah.
knows because I used to ask him for help. I'm like, I
That's
can't
funny.
beat this level.
Yeah.
Good game design, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
yeah.
makes it really fun.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, no, I
Yeah.
love Epic Mickey. That's a good one too.
Well,
You can't win them all. Come on,
No.
guys.
No.
No,
well,
you can't.
and yeah, I kind of like games where it's hard to beat them because it's
Yeah.
a challenge. You
Of
have to
course,
like there's a
of
sense of
course.
accomplishment. You know, if you're just
Yeah.
breezing through the game, then it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that. Yeah, it becomes like an easy puzzle as opposed to like maybe a more complex one.
Yeah.
that makes
sure.
that makes a good game. But funny, you mentioned like Oswald earlier, and actually Epic Mickey 2, the video game where
Oh, yeah.
Oswald came in, that's still almost in my head the Oswald I see. Right, so
Sure,
like the
yeah.
personality traits. Like I guess that was one of the first things they brought Oswald back for.
Uh-huh.
And so when I think about his character and how he maybe reacts to things or how he talks, that's
informed,
Oswald
yeah.
to me is
Yeah.
from that
Yeah.
game. So I think it's really interesting that they pulled him in for that, and that was one of I guess like his first pieces of
Yeah.
media
Yeah.
when they reacquired him.
Yeah,
was
it
for that.
was. Yeah, for those epic Mickey games, one of the big catalysts for it was including Oswald. And it was first time Oswald spoke too. It was Frank
Yeah.
Welker
It
providing
was,
his
yeah.
voice. Now my buddy David Arrigo Jr. provides Oswald's voice, but
Oh, that's cool, too.
yeah, it's he's talking. We gave him a voice again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He never had one, I guess. but
Oswald is
the
back.
one that we were aware
Yeah,
of.
I guess.
Yeah, you're kind of
Yeah,
right
because-
because it got bought in the drawing phase, right? So there was never really a.
Well,
Oswald
They,
voice?
they
There were
had
some-
produced shorts,
Okay.
but that was back. Remember, Steamboat Willie in 1928 is the first introduction of synchronized sound when it comes to animation.
Right.
So that's kind of billed as the first time we had animated characters
Right.
synchronized to their sounds. There was some experiment with sound prior to that, but yeah, the Oswald shorts were all silent era cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prior to.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That is
love
very cool.
I love film history and animation. And all
I'm,
that stuff.
I'm a
I think
nerd.
it's so
I'm a
cool.
nerd, so I love all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
We're animation is my favorite medium. I think you can tell
That's
such a
cool.
good story with animation.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
For
you just
sure.
have so much flexibility. And there's like I don't know. My favorite medium definitely
Yeah,
animation. So.
animation.
I mean,
Yeah.
you suspend belief when you watch animation. Or
Yes.
maybe that's not the right phrase, but it's suspended reality. Like you accept so much in the animated form that you
Yes.
wouldn't necessarily in a live action film.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know,
Elastigirl getting flattened against the wall or stretching out. Right?
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
character in alone is like the embodiment of why animation works.
Yeah,
Right. 'Cause-
the
Yeah.
plausible impossible.
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because not only does she flatten against the wall, she turns into a boat and a parachute.
And it
She
just
does
makes
all
sense.
these
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
and it's
Well, and
so traditional animation in such a realistic setting
Yeah.
for Incredibles.
Yeah.
well, it must
Yeah.
be crazy. Even if you like Incredibles, they obviously had superpowers. But even when you go to a movie like Tangled, maybe they jump further than they can, or
Sure.
get hit harder than they can. And
when
you
he
just
gets
kinda
smacked in
roll
the face
with
with
it.
a frying pan, that would be terrifying live action.
Yeah.
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 Is he okay?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's funny in animation. So.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
There's all those tips of the trade where it's like the recoil and the squash and the stretch and all of those things. They really do enhance the storytelling. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
for
what
sure.
makes animation fun, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, something else. It keeps staring at me.
I know,
when
I
I'm
was
looking
gonna do
at
it too.
I know.
I keep
Are we
thinking
talking
about
about
it.
it?
Yeah.
Who's staring?
So
Okay, I have to say, I fell in love with this. Like when D23 sent me an email saying, check out our new art, I fell in love with this piece. It is
Yeah.
so good.
So for those
Thank
of you who
you.
don't know, Brett literally created this piece of art, and
Yes.
so you obviously know more about it. So I should
Yeah,
let you
I
talk
should.
about
I don't
it.
know.
but-
I don't know that I do, but yeah. Sorry, you
It's
are
called, I forgot what it's called. Wait.
swept up in the magic.
There you
Swept
go.
Up in the Magic. It's on the back. So I
Yeah,
was gonna,
there you go.
Anyway, but yeah, it's good there. But anyway, what was it like creating that? Like,
And something
what's your?
I was gonna ask. So did you get to keep your illustrator job when you got cast as Mickey, or did they make you step away and be like, well, now that you're
Oh.
working here?
No, not at all. So I obviously had to leave my job and my career at Hallmark greeting cards.
Oh. Right.
So
Yeah.
That
I,
makes sense.
I had to leave that job and move back out
Sorry,
to LA.
Hallmark. Yeah.
But I've maintained my artistic career ever since. And in fact, there was early discussions when I took the role. They're like, well, maybe we can set you up with a Disney recruiter and see if there's any art jobs that are interesting to you. That didn't necessarily pan out in a full-time capacity, but
Yeah.
over the years, the more people I've met, and I always say the more people got to know me and know that I did have that artistic ability and interest, I I maintained freelance gigs on the side,
Oh, very
and then
cool.
Okay, yeah.
slowly but surely more Disney stuff started to come into the fold, which has been great. I've done a lot of merchandise design for D23, the Disney Fan Club.
Wow.
I've done merchandise design with one of my best friends, Ashley Eckstein, and so
Okay.
we've created clothing. I've been with Disney Fine Art Publishing since I started in this role. So I've been
Wow.
painting Mickey, and I've done a poster series, kind of combining my love of national parks and travel with Mickey.
Yeah.
And then this opportunity, it was actually Mickey's 95th anniversary portrait that the company and the archives commissioned me to do, which was an amazing honor. I'm only the 4th artist in Mickey's history to do his official portrait.
Wow.
And it's funny that it coincides with me being the 4th voice of Mickey.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so
and you're
cool.
probably the first to be both.
Second, if
Second?
you count
Okay.
Walt.
Oh,
Walt.
Yeah. Walt voiced and drew Mickey, yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
Which, you know.
How dare you.
That's good company.
It is very good company. But yeah, it's a tradition that was started back in 1953 by Walt. He held a kind of a contest on the studio lot to submit your portraits for Mickey to celebrate his birthday. And John Hench, legendary John Hench, animator and Imagineer, won. And the very first portrait in this series that we see is Mickey kind of leaning on his desk in a similar setting to Walt's office with some awards on. And I love this painting, and I have since I was a kid. And then John did this, ones after that. Up until he passed away. And then there was another contest, and Paul Felix, a Disney animator, got that honor that year, and he painted a beautiful portrait of Mickey leaning on the globe, painting a smile on the globe.
Oh, I think I've seen that one before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautifully painted. And then Mark Henn, Disney animator and newly inducted Disney legend, did Mickey's 90th portrait. So
Wow.
Nice.
that's the company I get to keep. And
That's really cool.
it was an incredible experience, not only because of what it means for Mickey's history, but what it really means for my history. And that I mentioned, I've been a fan of that original painting for so long. I had these books that were about Mickey's history, and they included all the portraits, and I grew up looking at them and thinking, I hope I'm that good of an artist someday, or I hope I get to, it'd be so cool to paint Mickey.
Yeah.
And so it was like midway through this painting that it dawned on me that I was that person doing it, and that potentially somebody was going to be like me looking at this someday and being influenced or inspired to do the same.
Yes.
And that's when the pressure, ironically,
Oh, yeah.
really hit. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't mess this up.
It's like,
Yeah.
Because I might be inspiring somebody. And that's
Almost the opposite of same thing of the, wow, I can't believe this is my life moment, but almost added more pressure
Yeah.
instead of took some
Yeah.
off, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those moments when I realize that the stuff I do potentially could impact or have an effect on somebody. That's like when the reality, it's so easy just to kind of get into a groove and become somewhat complacent, right? Where it's like, this is the thing I do, and I draw Mickey. I've drawn Mickey so many times, and I painted him, and I work on these projects.
Right.
But then when you have those moments to kind of stop and go, oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
So that I was like, I was shocked by how emotional I got in painting that, and how emotionally tied to the experience I still am.
Yeah, that's awesome. And something
Yeah.
I think is kind of so cool about what you're mentioning is as you're telling the story, all I can see is that one painting. I don't even remember anymore. It's like Mickey's painting himself, and then he looks in the mirror and he sees Walt, right? I think that's how it works. And so that must have been such an interesting moment for you, voicing Mickey and trying to come up with this portrait, right? That's going to be his official look. And as the voice of Mickey, that must have, like, that painting must have been exactly how you felt for a little bit.
Yeah, that painting is great because it's kind of an homage to the original Norman Rockwell self-portrait. Norman Rockwell's doing the same thing.
Yes.
A lot of people always ask me how do I identify with Mickey, or how do I picture him in my head? And when I'm voicing Mickey, I still picture a little traditionally animated character that's bouncing around. I don't picture the theme park character. I don't picture the computer animated one. It's this little animated one. And back in the day when we had paper scripts on the stand, my scripts would be covered with doodles, where I was just drawing Mickey the whole session.
Oh, that's cool.
I love that.
But it's funny in painting the picture. I don't necessarily picture like I'm doing a self-portrait. I still identify Mickey more with Walt, and also just what he's become in terms of like his own, I get to play a part of Mickey's story, but it's almost like I jokingly say I'm his vocal coach. I'm not, people always be like, that's Mickey, and I'm like, I'm not Mickey.
Right.
Mickey is Mickey. I'm Bret. a friend of Mickey who gets to play a really cool part.
Yeah, and,
part of
making
what he
it come to
does.
life. But
Yeah.
but you're right.
So yeah,
He's
so-
got his own identity, and his own history, and his
Yeah.
own legacy, and
Yeah, I definitely, I there's similarities, and I think I've adopted more of Mickey's traits.
Yeah.
Working alongside of him I've adopted more of his traits than I have influenced who Mickey is. People always ask that too, like, how do you feel like you're Mickey? How have you changed Mickey? And I'm like, I hope I haven't changed him at all.
I want to be the same.
I don't
He's
want to be
always-
responsible to that. Like, I think
Yeah.
my Mickey has become a little bit more energetic and a little bit more youthful because that's what some of the storytelling is required of
Yeah.
him.
Right.
But I hope I haven't changed. I hope when like the next official voice takes over, they're not going, well, Bret did this and now I have to fix it
Yeah.
or
Right.
you know.
No, of course. Well, and I think it's also like that's almost how Mickey's changed even around you almost, right? So like
Sure.
Mickey's gotten that energetic and you've had to be energetic to keep
Right, you
up
adapt.
with Mickey almost, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
'cause, You know, I can see that almost being,
Well,
one of the
maybe just the
ways
timing of
yeah.
that, like I call it the mixed magic era because that's the fireworks show at Disneyland.
Oh,
but
yeah,
that
yeah.
whole animation style that started with the cartoons and then all the way up to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yeah,
they
that
like they're-
unique animation.
It was like a new version of Mickey, right? So he
Yeah.
maybe talked different, and that's not that's based on the project maybe, and not
Yeah.
just based on who's
No,
voicing Mickey,
I-
right?
Exactly.
that's absolutely right. So Paul Rudish was the creative mind behind that style and
Yeah.
and that storytelling. And it's a different. I almost jokingly say it's like a Mickeyverse, right? Like
Yeah.
a multiverse, Mickeyverse, where that style of storytelling required a different type of Mickey and a different
Yeah.
sound, and that's
Yeah.
what even Paul and the directors of the series will tell you. They wanted something that was a little bit more Three Stooges era,
Yes.
right? Like,
Yes.
and so Chris Diamantopoulos, who voices Mickey for those, like does such a great job of giving that sound, like that,
Right.
like that nuance that
Yeah.
Mickey wouldn't necessarily have.
right.
So yeah.
I think it'd be so funny to see like Disney Junior Mickey talking to that Mickey.
Yes.
And I think it'd just be like, calm down.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw in
Take a
Kingdom
chill
Hearts
pill,
Mickey.
dude. Let's calm down, and it's not that crazy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yes.
Exactly.
I feel like
yeah.
that's exactly what he would say.
The other
man.
thing I have to bring up since we're talking about Mickey's is one that's always like sticks in my head is House of Mouse.
Oh
No,
yeah.
it's-
There's
Yeah.
a couple clips in there like where Goofy's trying all the keys, and then Mickey comes back. He's like, "That solved absolutely nothing." Right? And it's funny to me. Maybe that was my better Mickey impression, but I don't know.
That was
So
you
good.
were more relaxed this
Yeah,
time. That's
that's maybe.
great. Yeah.
But that clip is so funny to me because we almost never see Mickey
Like,
get
crash out like that.
frustrated.
Yeah.
My favorite Mickey moments, and what I wish creatively I got to do more, is when Mickey is more self-aware.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of a show like House of Mouse. Like Mickey isn't playing a character. Mickey is just himself, and Mickey's aware that he is kind of like the OG of this. He's running this club where all the Disney
Right.
characters are coming,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Like he knows what he's done. He knows all these people, and he's somewhat fallible in that
Yeah.
he doesn't he's not on stage performing. I mean he does, right? In the
Right.
show he
Yeah.
goes on and he does the MC role. But
Right.
then those backstage moments are like and I love before we started filming, I was talking about how I love Bill Farmer and he's become such a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And so in those moments when Mickey's just kind of like
Goofy, come on.
like that's me to Bill, like when we're running through an airport and he's nervous about catching his flight. It's like,
It's gonna be okay, pal. Just calm down.
I would love to see like you guys just in a normal setting, like just like literally going to the airport and just like breaking into the voices,
Yeah,
and like
mixing
have an
with
argument
Yeah.
or talking
Yeah.
about something. It's so funny. I'm sure it happens occasionally. Maybe no,
less
I
than
don't
you
know.
I don't know.
Yeah. I just think it'd be hilarious. That's all. That's
Yeah.
all I have to say.
That's amazing.
It's a good time. Anytime I'm spending time with Bill, it's a good time.
Yeah.
No, he
well,
seems like so. I saw an interview with him somewhere else where he was talking about needing to pick Goofy as his as the voice that he was going to carry on. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think he said at some time that he did a bunch of other characters and they made him pick one. Right? And
Oh,
he
wow.
picked Goofy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw it somewhere.
We'll have to ask him.
Yeah, we'll have to
but
ask
I don't
him.
want to speak for him. No.
No.
Well, yeah, but Bill is another. We're talking about prolific voice actors, and he's another one of those guys who's just
Yeah.
had such a
Absolutely.
great career doing so many different things, and so many things that you wouldn't even know about. When Gaston's singing in Beauty and the Beast, he's 12 dozen eggs
Oh, yeah.
every morning to make him feel strong, and he goes glunk, glunk, glunk. That's Bill doing the sound effects of the swallowing the eggs.
Yeah.
Because
Oh
he's
my
part of
gosh.
something called a loop group, which they would come in and do all these different background voices
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bill was Hop Pop on shoot, why am I blanking on the name of the series right now? Amphibia.
Oh, nice.
You know, he was one of the 7 dwarfs occasionally for some
Yeah.
stuff. Like he
Wow.
just he does a
Nothing
ton,
is
so.
more iconic than the goofy laugh. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Oh
it
my
is
gosh.
like, it is gold.
And you asked me how to do Mickey. I've heard Bill describe how to do the Mickey or the Goofy laugh, and I'm like, that's a science. Like he's
Yeah.
broken it down into 3 parts, which I have not even attempted and will never attempt because he's so good at it. It's
so good.
fascinating.
It's
That's
one of
incredible.
probably the most iconic laughs of all time.
Absolutely.
Like it
Well,
beats the villain
What's
laugh.
wrong with Mickey's laugh?
Yeah.
Come on.
Sorry, I know.
Come on.
I
Those-
said one of.
Maybe
One
those
of.
two.
Those two
Well,
are the
that's
most.
true. Mickey's.
They
yeah.
might be tied.
They might be tied.
for-
That might be tied.
Yeah. Yeah.
Goofy can have it.
We'll call it a
No,
tie.
no.
We had a friend who made it
Chaos.
his ringtone, and it was the weirdest thing because every time we got a text, Goofy would scream in,
Oh my
and
gosh.
it never
Yeah.
got old. I must say, it was
Yeah.
always
So
made me
cool.
laugh.
Like, I do always worry whenever I'm picking a notification sound that the sound's gonna get old. That one never did.
Okay.
That was very interesting.
That's
I
a
was like,
testament to the character.
It
yeah,
is.
Yeah, it really is.
For the longest time, I think it still is, when you call Bill's home number, Goofy answers the phone.
I love
That's
that.
Or the
terrific.
answering machine.
That's
yeah.
iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's iconic.
No, don't do that.
No,
Don't berate him.
No,
Yeah.
of course not.
Something,
That's awesome.
Something else that's so interesting though, when you mentioned House of Mouse, where you see Mickey kind of in this showrunner mentality,
Yeah.
right, where he's maybe coordinating. He's like, oh, Cruella de Vil was late, or whatever, whatever Mickey goes through in that show. It's so interesting because you talked about kind of storytelling, and we've done like both on-camera acting and like more YouTube storytelling.
Sure.
And it's so interesting because on YouTube, like we're playing ourselves, but we still want to tell stories, right? So it's kind of
Right.
this interesting thing where, we're never acting on camera, but we want things to come across, right? And we want it to feel that way. And so I think your perspective on Mickey, like being a showrunner in House of Mouse, feels almost very YouTube to me now.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
He's like, because you see like Mickey's work, right? You see him in Three Musketeers or in anything, and that's what I loved about House of Mouse was him like just being himself almost.
Yeah.
I thought it was super unique.
Well, I mean, I think all of us, and it's not a negative thing at all. We all kind of wear a mask, right? Where it's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
a socially acceptable way. We are cordial with people, or how we choose to be polite, or whatever. And then you have those moments when all of your filters just kind of melt away for a
Yeah.
moment because you can't help but just be like, enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so why wouldn't Mickey or any other character be like that too?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool, and I love to see that these characters, had their own personalities and
Oh, yeah.
are their own
100%.
people and on
Yeah.
their own. And I just love, I just love it. It's like Kermit the Frog is another one that's like that's just always Kermit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how it all goes together, the voice, whatever, that doesn't matter. But when you see it, like that's Kermit.
That's
That's
Kermit.
Kermit.
And that,
Yeah.
however they made it happen behind the scenes, you don't really care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you shouldn't, because it's like you said, a good character like that is just that character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people behind the scenes, but I mean, we're all just enjoying
Yeah.
them being that. They're
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
They're,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally
Well,
agree.
Such a, like, there's so few characters. You talk about Mickey or Goofy or even Kermit the Frog. There's so few of them that are actually that timeless that we get to see them. Mickey would have his own IMDb. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he would
Yeah.
have.
Exactly.
I've ever seen him, and there's so few characters that get that unique opportunity.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just so cool that that's something that you.
Yeah, but
get
they're
to
almost
do.
like their own person.
Yeah.
Like in the real world.
Star on the
Like-
Walk of Fame, right? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You're
No
right.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just
Crazy.
had to bring that up because it hit me. It's like it's so cool.
Thing. Yeah.
No, it's been so awesome. We wanted to start this show because we as insiders over the last 7, almost 8 years, we got to meet so many cool people that just bring so much like joy and to people, and it's just been so cool,
Yeah.
And so
Well, and of course, the forerunner of everything is Disney and the Disney magic. But getting to see how those stories are told is such a unique part of doing what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was fun. Just so you know, like we came up with the show and we wanted to do it, and like having you on, like it was like the first thought of our mind was like if Bret would want to come on,
Aw.
he would be
Right.
such a cool guest to have. And so
Yeah.
just like awesome people, awesome stories. And just like we've talked about, so many unique experiences, and you've always
Right.
chosen to keep doing awesome
Yeah.
things and bringing joy to the world. So
And it's
we're very,
almost-
very fortunate, and we feel very lucky and blessed to have you on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's
Thanks.
almost like an inspiring creatives thing, because like a lot of
Sure.
the people we've had on are like the people that make really cool things happen, and it's
Yeah.
like kind of like how do you get,
Yeah.
like how does that work, and what's the behind the scenes like, and so it's been really cool to like we've filmed a couple of these now, and just hearing the different perspectives of these stories has been like so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
been really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Truly, thank you for having me. I was
Yeah.
honored that you guys asked, because it is one thing to talk about voicing Mickey, but having the chance to talk about what's behind that, what I've learned, but also we've talked a little bit about like the influence the different things we work on can have.
Yeah.
And I, for one, owe that all to the behind the scenes glimpses of the people, the creatives who have taken the time to share their stories and to share what goes into that process. And so it's become a real passion of mine to almost talk less about voicing Mickey and more about the art of it all, right? And
Yeah.
what goes on
Right.
behind it. Like what is your creative drive, and how could that maybe inspire somebody, not even necessarily creatively, just inspired to live a more adventurous or authentic life.
Yeah.
Like there's lessons to be learned from everyone's story. And,
Absolutely.
Any chance I have to tell mine, I'm very grateful. So thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
sure.
It's been
I'm
so
so
we
glad it
had such
worked
a good
out.
time.
Thank
Yeah,
Yes.
it's been really fun, and it's so cool because like you're kind of, well, not kind of, you are still an artist, like even like, as a voice artist.
I am.
right?
I'm still doing. I have several
right.
jobs at home
No,
that I'm
no,
working
yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yes. No, but like you started as an illustrator, and even as Mickey, you still are in that creative field, and then
Yeah.
And there's
It's
even
just
a
cool
very
that we
recent,
even have
A really
a
cool
very
example
recent-
of that.
a combination of both.
The art of the segue, ladies and gentlemen. That was so good.
Thank you.
This is a fun project that I guess, gosh, time has flown by now. It came out last year, but it's a book titled Camp Mickey and Minnie One Wild Summer that my buddy Ryan March, who works for Disney Vacation Club, he's the editor of their Disney Files magazine, but an all-around creative and talented guy, wrote the story, and we kind of developed this world together, which is where Mickey and Minnie run a summer camp.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we based our initial concept off of the different 4 seasons, and so the first book, and we'd hope there'd be more. I don't know. I can't confirm that, but who knows where this whole little world could live.
Absolutely.
But this first book takes place during the summer. And the cover kind of implies that Goofy's being a goof. He's dressed as an owl, and I won't spoil the story, but it's a fun adventure just that focuses around Goofy and his best laid plans, best intentions, kind of turning a little bit afoul, and and of course Mickey's always there as the leader to kind of be like, come on, Goof, rein it in. But it's a great classic. We both are a big fan of the classic stories of Mickey and Friends, and I think I'm really proud of how it turned out. I did all the illustrations. I don't think I mentioned that. I did the illustrations,
Amazing.
That's
which
awesome.
was a lot of work to do an entire children's book.
I can
but-
imagine, for
but-
sure.
but fun.
Absolutely, all the different
Yes.
scenes and the storytelling.
A lot of
and the-
different scenes. I forgot how many. There's 32 pages or something. So
Wow,
that's a lot
nice.
of illustrations.
A lot of drawings, yeah.
The cover, the inside. There's a whole map of the camp on the inside.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
That is
it was
awesome.
That must have been so much fun.
That's
yeah.
actually like world building too in one sort.
It
you know?
is.
Yeah.
It is world
Yeah.
building. Yeah, and we worked with an editor who was holding me to this map I'd created, and she'd be like, "Okay, well, in this scene, if they're here, then they would be seeing this and not that." Like, I was like, "Oh, well, this is getting very serious."
Yeah.
I just thought that was a tree I was going to draw, but now I have to be very
No, it has to
intentional.
be this specific tree.
Yeah.
like, if
so
you're standing
This
here.
32-page children's book. It's like wow. It's like we have a
Yeah.
whole cinematic like
It's-
world that we built.
Disney Publishing takes their worlds very serious.
I
I
love.
respect
That's why
it.
they're so
Honestly,
good though. That's why they're the
yeah.
best.
Well,
Yeah.
no, there's a standard that applies to these characters no matter
Yeah.
what they do, and
Yeah.
publishing is no exception. And that's, again, we've talked about it so much. That's what makes these characters so relatable, and their longevity is so
Yeah.
cemented because of the detail of taking care of them.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Well,
Absolutely.
they're beloved not just by the readers and the viewers, but also by the people who make them, and then
Yes.
and everyone. So there's just so much love into these characters,
Yeah.
and you can feel it come through. In really everything they do, whether
Yeah.
it's a show or a parade or a movie or whatever, you can feel the love for
well,
the
that's
characters.
the hope. So it's
Yes.
nice to hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
no, definitely
Magical
can.
Map, one of my favorites.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Magical
Oh my
Map
gosh,
was
yes.
so good.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
once
forgot about that show.
Oh,
Oh
man.
man, they should bring
We
that show back.
they should bring it back, but
Yeah.
we
If
grew
you're
up
looking
with
for a
it. We watched
suggestion,
it,
that was it.
Yeah.
and we actually. we got to perform on stage with Mickey at that stage.
Wow.
Yeah,
which
we
was
did,
pretty amazing.
yeah.
That's so cool.
They did a performing arts conservatory
Yeah, it was like a
where
youth
we did
summer camp,
a weekend-long summer camp thing.
and it
And
ended
at
with
the
a
end,
real
we got to
performance.
perform on stage with Mickey Mouse and Stitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
And Minnie.
And Minnie
And
was
Minnie.
there
Oh yeah,
too.
Minnie was there too.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Forgot all about Minnie.
Yeah.
I won't tell her.
Come on,
Yeah, don't
Kara.
tell Minnie.
I was on the wrong
might be
side of the
mad.
I
stage.
did not.
She was on the separate side of the stage.
Let the record show I remembered you. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's another great show. Like you said, the timing, we grew up with that one.
Yeah.
And definitely a highlight of Mickey for me is Magical
That's
Map.
so cool.
Yeah.
I had completely forgotten. Thank you for taking me down that memory lane trip.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Well,
Good.
thank you for coming on. You were
My
awesome,
pleasure.
as we knew
Yeah.
you would be. But you were
Yeah.
awesome.
I don't know.
Awesome.
There's
Totally
a lot that's going to
awesome.
end up on the cutting room floor. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
They're gonna see
So
like
it
a
goes.
10-minute interview. No, I'm kidding. It's very short. The rest was
This is
just
all we
so-
can do.
Yeah.
No,
That's
not
awesome.
at all.
Well,
All right.
thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun, you guys.
Thanks
Yeah.
for being awesome.
Thank you
And
so
thank
much.
you guys for watching
thank
and
you for
joining
watching.
us.
If you enjoyed, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and we'll be back with the
We'll be
next
back
episode
with
later soon. So.
more totally awesome episodes.
Yeah.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
That's totally awesome.